And now, here's a guy who has never won a congeniality award at any radio station anywhere.
I will fight you in the street.
It's the Eric Zane Show podcast with your host, Eric Zane.
Thank you, Johnny. Welcome to the Eric Zane Show podcast. Found Instagram, Eric Zane Show, brought to you by the Mario Flores team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Hello to you. Yes. This recorded on Wednesday, the 5th of February. Yep, that's how we do it. Yeah, so a little bit late today. We're getting actually a really late start. This recorded starting at about 10 after 8. So you might have been like, okay, this is when the week starts to sink its claws into our little buddy. But no, I was actually I did fairly well today. Just a couple of things set me back. Bruce does this deal when he eats, and it really brings things to a standstill. Only in the morning, little guy, when you pour his food, he just looks at it and then looks up at you. So he's looking up at me, and he knows that we have to do this. It's a ritual. I have to pick up an individual piece of food and hold it in and feed it to him. One, and then he'll eat it, and then he'll look at me again, and then I have to keep doing that, and each time I do it, my hand gets closer to the actual where the food is in the bowl, until then he's right over it, and then most of the time, not all the time, he will then approach the food and then eat it. And it's like, this takes like 5-10 minutes sometimes. It's like, dude, what are you doing? What is going on here? So that started to creep into my time. I had a lot of audio to get ready to get today's show ready, as you would expect, because as my day is coming to a close in the 10 o'clock hour last night, as I was doing my limo job, as you know, I had long 12-hour shifts, as this is a 2-week full-time job with the limo company. Just kind of like shuttling people to and from a destination. Just cool. It's been great. Not exactly the busiest beaver, but I spent a little bit of time as I was waiting for my next pickup with the State of the Union. I was watching it on my phone, and I take these with a huge grain of salt. No matter if it was President Obama or President Trump or whoever in the past, usually that stuff goes in one ear and out the other, because there's some spin going into it. There's always, like, after it, there's the rebuttal from the other side, which the governor of Michigan did that this time. And then there's also all the fact checks, what's right, what's not, and that sometimes the person who is the president is looking through rose-colored glasses and making it seem a little bit more than it is. So, that stuff doesn't faze me. When I hear when I did like the tough talk when the president talked about if you harm our citizens to any terrorist, you forfeit your life, and that actually does go a long way with me. So I was like, yeah, that's right, kill the bad guys. So, all right, whatever. What I like to pay attention to, though, is all of the nuances of the event. Who's wearing white? Who's standing at a given time? And my first thought is, Democrats who, okay, you have the Republicans, obviously, and all the Republicans that are hearing Trump's speech are going crazy and chanting 4 more years, which was a little weird. And so, obviously, the Democrats aren't going to stand and applaud there. I mean, hell no, right? But there is protocol. You could have something that moves you if you're a Democrat, and you might clap but not stand. Like, that's not deserving of a standing O, right? And if you're the guy who's going to stand and sit the whole time, or the girl, man or the woman, lady or the gentleman, you don't need to do burpees that day because you're up and down the whole time. You can just skip the workout Do you ever like try clapping for like a whole hour? I haven't either, but I imagine that you're at the end of that. You're like, God, my hands hurt, or an hour and a half, however long it is. So all that's going on, and I often wonder if they get so used to not standing, maybe a Democrat, that all of a sudden there's no reason why they shouldn't be standing for, like, let's say, Tuskegee Airman guy, 100-year-old airline pilot from World War II, which, by the way, did he not look like he was about 70? Did you see the World War II guy? Like the last of the Tuskegee Airmen, the black fighter pilots? The guy looked awesome, man. That was fantastic. If you forget like where you are and you don't stand and clap for Tuskegee Airman guy, 100-year-old World War II veteran, that'd be a real bummer. So, all right, as State of the Unions go, this was fairly normal. We've seen this before. It was a little bit surreal that behind Trump is the woman who today is leading Schiff and Pelosi are leading the drive to impeach him and remove him from office. Today is that vote, which will fall along party lines, so nothing will happen. So that will be the end of that. But it was just crazy to think that he is feet away from her, and she's done all this shit. How can they look each other in the face? And they couldn't. So, and then he's, there's a lot of things he's saying, and he's calling, he's referring to the Democrats as things that are going to piss them off. And I noticed that she had her head down. She was like reading along on a lot of the State of the Union. And there was a couple of times she mouthed not true or shook her head no. And so, all right. Maybe she was getting incensed along the way. And I think that if you're Trump in that point, imagine that. You can say all these things, and she can't do shit. So she's stewing. And you can just sense that the claws are getting longer, and she just wants to bury him in the side of his head. Oh, my God, she's so pissed. Oh, wow. And so this all unfolds, and then as time goes on. Oh, and by the way, at the beginning of it, Trump has his two copies of the State of the Union address, and he hands one to Trump, or hands one to Pence, and he hands one to Pelosi. In that moment, there was a weird, awkward thing where she kind of stuck her hand out. You could see it to shake his hand. The argument could be made that he snubbed her. The argument could be made that he didn't see it. I see both. I choose to think that he didn't see her, and he didn't shake Pence's hand either. So it wasn't about shaking hands. Now, that might have just been convenient, or maybe somebody's going to come out and say, hell no, he didn't shake her hand, and I wouldn't have either. I don't care if he didn't shake her hand at all. If somebody's trying to remove me from my job, I'm not going to shake that fucker's hand. Get the fuck out of here. I'm going to spit in mine and put it in yours. So I don't care that he didn't shake her hand, but everybody right away is making a big deal about it. So that kind of was like setting the table. Now, maybe she thought she was snubbed. I don't know. But I think the speech itself is what enraged Pelosi, because the speech ends. And Pelosi stands up, and he's just finishing the final words of the State of the Union address. And she stands up and rips a whole bunch of the pages, sets it down methodically, picks up another pile, rips it in half, sets it down, and the third one rips it in half, and sets that shit down on the dais, and she's like, fucking I'm out of here. Fuck you. Oh, my gosh. Spectacular. And deep down, she could have gone one further. She could have easily have flipped the table. Pence, he's just sitting there. He's not doing anything. He doesn't, she could have kicked his ass right there, jumped on him, and just started pounding Pence for no particular reason. Wow. I thought that was, that really, man, did that, now look, you know who I'm voting for. I'm going to vote for Trump. But I'm not about to sit here in front of you and tell you, she's an idiot, she did this, she did that, I hate her. Fuck that. I don't do that shit. You know that. I'm voting for my guy. You vote for your person. You think what she did was great. You think what she did was terrible. Now, for a visibility and for spectacle and for what I'm talking about on this show, we need more of that. We need her standing behind him, giving him the finger, and during the State of the Union. We need passive aggressive facial gestures and all sorts of shit, and her falling asleep, maybe like playing with her phone. All these things to indicate that she hates his guts. Wow. So, in fact, if you were to look at the after State of the Union address tote board, the Republicans are saying she's terrible, and the Democrats are saying that was awesome. We loved that. So win-win. Win-win. This is all good. That was something. Afterwards, Speaker Pelosi is walking away, and the people right on her, and they said, "Why did you rip up the State of the Union speech?" And she said something about it was the right thing to do, considering the alternative, or something like that. And then there was she made a comment about getting him out of office, and she said, "Hopefully in 9 months we will." So she's obviously conceded that there's no chance that he will be removed from office today. But what a week. I mean, if you think about it, there has been, you had Monday with the Iowa caucus, which I'll get to in a second, and then the State of the Union speech, the fireworks at the end. I mean, this is absolutely amazing. When was the last time a State of the Union speech ended and people were like buzzing? Half the time, people are like, "Oh, yeah, more lip service. Yeah, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Good night, whatever." But shit. And now, if you're Whitmer, the governor of the great state of Michigan, it's her job to do the rebuttal. Now, it's already prepared. It's based on, she gets a copy of what the hell Trump was saying, so she gets 10 minutes to her rebuttal. I don't have any audio of it, but if I'm her, I take the speech and I throw it away, and I just sit there and I go lockstep, because she's got aspirations to be president, according to my huge show sources. So she should side with Pelosi right now and let their Wonder Twin powers activate and just talk about how she loved what he did. But no, she kept it above board from what I hear, so whatever. Snooze. Man. Now, I'm not going to play any audio other than one part from the State of the Union, because this is a treacherous bit of ground. I am not a political talk show host. I am not Rush Limbaugh. I was in attendance, by the way. He looked like shit, considering he's got stage 4 cancer. You could understand. But, President gave him highest civilian honor. That's probably going to cause more hate. A lot of people really cannot stand that guy. But, it's not my job. I don't find it interesting to sit here and try to incite you. I'm pulling from the pond of everyone. I don't try to aggressively tell you as a Democrat that you're wrong. I would never do that to you. I will tell you that I have an opinion that you know how I feel about things. You watch this show for any amount of time or listen to the show for any amount of time, you know where I stand. I'm as conservative as they come. But I don't want to sit here and get in a pissing match with you. I will dissect and about what I was thinking. But when I was sitting there driving, I got this heads up about this. I had shut the damn thing off, and I was in a parking lot, and I get a text from Pellerito. And he goes, "Man, I know you're up because you're driving, but shit's rolling downhill right now. And I'm like, what's up? He goes, Pelosi ripped up her copy of the speech behind the president, and the whole world is talking about this right now. And I'm like, oh, my God. So I was there as it all unfolded. It was great. Man, spectacular. There was one moment I want to play for you, though. This was a deal where you have a lady whose husband has been overseas in the military, some operation, a Marine, and the president. She's been told the president wants you there. She's just a lady, I think in North Carolina, with 2 kids. She's in charge of the household as a single mother while dad is away for a tour or whatever it is. And you know it now because I'm telling you in case you missed this. Her husband's there, and it's going to be one of those military reunions, okay? So the president acknowledges her, and she looks like she's kind of happy but a little uncomfortable, maybe, I don't know. And then the president reveals, guess what? Here he is. So then he comes walking down the steps, and they have an amazing time. So
War places a heavy burden on our nation's extraordinary military families, especially spouses like Amy Williams from Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and her 2 children, 6-year-old Eliana and 3-year-old Rowan. Amy works full-time and volunteers countless hours helping other military families. For the past 7 months, she has done it all while her husband, Sergeant First Class Townsend Williams, is in Afghanistan on his 4th deployment in the Middle East. Amy's kids haven't seen their father's face in many months. Amy, your family's sacrifice makes it possible for all of our families to live in safety and in peace, and we want to thank you. Thank you, Amy.
All right, so now they all stand up, of course. You know, they're giving her the Democrats, Republicans, as they should. You know, all right, this is good. There's no way you can punch a hole in this story, right? Somebody's clapping. The president's clapping right into the mic.
But Amy, there is one more thing. Tonight we have a very special surprise. I am thrilled to inform you that your husband is back from deployment. He is here with us tonight, and we couldn't keep him waiting any longer.
This is great. Imagine if Pelosi was like, yeah, fuck this shit. It's all planned. He's not even in the military. Now, that would have been spectacular. Pelosi then, if she ripped up her speech then, grabbed the mic and said, I hate this family and I hate Trump. That definitely would have been great. So dad comes up. He's got these 2 little kids. They cannot believe it, man. Mom is crying. So that was awesome, you know. Cannot go wrong with that. All right. So, people who hate Pelosi, they're like, oh, she just ripped up that family. She just ripped up Tuskegee Airmen guy. She just ripped up this person and that person. It's like, yes, she did. She did. I wonder if Speaker Pelosi wakes up and says, maybe I shouldn't have done that. And do you think that was a spur of the moment thing? Do you think that was a mid-speech thing? Or do you think she planned that before thing? I tend to think that was a spur of the moment thing. But I don't know. What do I know? All right, so when I was driving yesterday, this is also part of your open on the Eric Zane Show podcast. I pick up this lady who I picked up the day before. I know her by name. And she gets into the vehicle. I'm going to take her back to the hotel, of course. Her work day is done. She is from the country of Panama. Speaks with a heavy accent. And I said, hello, so-and-so, how are you? How was your day? And she was very, very happy to be done. And I'm driving her back. And then it goes like this. Oh, dear, what a day. Oh, it's what a day. I go, well, yeah, of course it is. It's beautiful. The sun is out again. We're lucky. She goes, oh, yes. But today is the State of the Union. There's this. And I go, oh? She goes, yes, I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is interesting. So she is diving into politics now. If she ended it there and didn't say another word about this, it would be a little weird. But she is going to continue. But I'm like, all right, now I'm going to let her decide where the conversation is going. And if she feels comfortable enough to go down this road, I look at this as this is another win for me. If a lady that I barely know is delving into politics, it's just her and I, she has no idea where my brain is. That's pretty ballsy. So she's either going to start talking about how she can't wait for Trump to get his ass kicked in the rebuttal or whatever, or in the off chance that she goes the other direction. I'm preparing myself. I'm expecting her to just start talking about how this is how she hates Trump, and you know where this is going, don't you? And then I would just let her run on by and just go, yeah, it's a big day. I don't follow. That's what I would do. I don't want to get into a political discussion with anyone. But she, a lady from Panama, she goes, I love you, my president. I love Trump. Oh, my gosh. And God comes out as, oh, my gosh, to her. And it's just adorable. And I'm like, what? Okay. Now, I did not expect her to say, I love President Trump. But she did, and she just says it. And she doesn't know where my brain is. She doesn't know that no matter what she says, I'm not going to really. And but I'm like, I got to know more about this. And I want you to pay attention to what she feels is going on. This is this lady's perspective, not mine. I swear, in a stack of Bibles. And I said, oh, okay. All right. What do you like the most about him? And she pauses, and she goes, honestly, because he is building the wall. Like, okay, you have a lady who emigrated to the United States from south of the border, and she is a Latina, and she is looking me in the face and saying she's probably about a 50-year-old person, saying how much she loves the president and how much she loves that he is building a wall. And I'm looking around for cameras. I'm looking around for Ashton Kutcher. I'm thinking I'm getting punked. I'm now like, okay, all right. So, I thought that maybe I did not expect her to say this at all. So I'm like, okay, why? And I go, I'm gonna push further. I need more info. I go, why do you like the wall? Why do you like it to be a tougher time for people to get into the United States? And she says to me, look, I come to this country and I work very, very hard. It took a long time, but I work very hard and I love America. And if I work very, very hard, I can stay in America. Why should they be allowed to just come in and take all of the things that I work very, very hard for and get it for free? I'm like, yeah, okay, I think that that's valid. I think that what you just said, from your standpoint, your point of view, that has validity to me. If that's how you feel. And she is like, holy crap. She's the type of person who, when she shows up at the Trump rally, everybody, and she's on camera, everyone says, that's a plant. She was paid to do that. I mean, she was that much. She's the one who walks down the street with the MAGA hat, the whole deal. And I'm like, what? How lucky am I? I am living a charmed life. If I have this awesome human being who is just willing to share some. She's a lot of She is a lot like my dad. She was a female embodiment of my father, come to the U.S., but very, very, very appreciative of the things that the country offers, and is very proud of her story to get into here. That's what she was all about, and it was just great to hear that lady. My gosh. All right. So you got all this stuff happening. That is the open of the Eric Zane Show podcast. It is brought to you this time around by Terrytown RV. All right? They are on Division in Grand Rapids between 68th and 76th Street. You cannot miss it. And things are happening there at Terrytown RV. The unbelievable amount of inventory they have, both outdoors and indoors. That's right, the indoor facility with more than 200 units available for you to check out. So basically, you just walk into Terrytown RV, you see one of the amazing people that work there that want to get you in a camper, travel trailer, RV, fifth wheel, whatever it may be. And then they're going to take you, chauffeur you, squire you off to the indoor facility, give you a cup of coffee, maybe a bag of popcorn, and say, have at it. Look at what you want. You can spend like an hour there. You can spend as much time as you want there. I'm always available to help you look at those things. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. I want to be the boots-on-the-ground person giving you a tour and telling you about the fun you're going to have when you're going to all the area parks. You're camping outside. Of course, you're going to camp outside. You're not going to camp inside, dummy. Hot dogs by the fire, s'mores, my gosh. TerrytownRV.com. Thank you. Tag Accounting. It's getting close to where you got to actually make that call, okay? Where it's like, still time, but I need you to call Troy Kinzer today, 616-301-9516. Say it slower, Zane. 616-301-9516. He does taxes for people all across the United States. If you're listening in Albany, New York, Nashville, Tennessee, if you're listening in North Dakota, I've got little pockets of people in each of those places. Reach out to Troy. Call the tax halfling today, 616-301-9516. The way you do it if you're in another state is you upload all your documents to the portal. They'll walk you through every step. Trust me on this one. You must do this. There's still time. 616-301-9516. So leading up to the State of the Union, people were still waiting on what happened in Iowa. Now, I'm following this story. I'm really interested in it because, you have these 11 Democrats, and it's not really clear at all as to who's going to do what. Now, what you would be led to believe leading up to the Iowa caucus was that Joe Biden's in the driver's seat. Biden, with Sanders trailing closely behind, and that's pretty much all you need to know. Elizabeth Warren is in the running, but that's it. Well, either something's really screwed up, and it could be because of the disaster in Iowa, or they are just completely wrong, because Mayor Pete is leading, but they're not really sure exactly if all the precincts are in. This thing is a debacle in Iowa. And all they did was it improved the way that they deliver their results, or thought they were. They built like an app, and you're supposed to push a button in each precinct. Okay, yeah, so-and-so wins this one. You push a button on the app, and all of a sudden it's determined by the election officials that the results are weird. Something's wrong. There's a problem. There's a discrepancy. So everything went apeshit. My God. So, they still don't have all of the numbers in, but Mayor Pete is in the lead with Senator Sanders right behind. This is the story from ABC News.
Short time from now. But much of this day was spent focused on the chaos in Iowa, a catastrophic failure, a new computer app crashing, the manual count that followed, and now a full day later, the first results just in tonight. They are partial results, but they do show what looks to be a big night for Mayor Pete Buttigieg. He and Bernie Sanders fighting for the top spot. Take a look tonight with 62% of precincts reporting Pete Buttigieg.
Okay, now this is last night, 6 p.m. when this story happens. Only 62% of them as of that story. Now, you have to understand, these 11 people have spent millions and millions of dollars in advertising for this state. They have spent considerable time and energy going to crisscrossing the state, and somehow the idiots in Iowa have managed to screw this up. It's a complete embarrassment for them because they pride themselves on being the first test for the candidates for the upcoming election. It's always been that way. And then it's their time in the spotlight. The candidates use that as momentum to then go on to the next stop, which is New Hampshire, where they have a primary 1 week later. So then the attention turns there. And then they can say, with the Iowa's spoken, we are, they're utilizing this. This is huge. Okay? And they fuck it up. So now all the candidates are like, it's been a couple days now. They've got 5 days. They're concentrating on New Hampshire. So at this point, Iowa, they should just say, fuck it. We're not even going to tell you the results because it's all bullshit anyway, because A, people are wondering if it's even legit, and B, no one cares now because the time has passed.
At 27%, Bernie Sanders at 25%, Elizabeth Warren 18%, Joe Biden 16%, and Amy Klobuchar at 13%.
Biden at 16%? Oh, my gosh, that is a nightmare for that guy. You know he's pissed off.
The candidates all moving on to New Hampshire over.
Biden's like, I can't believe I'm getting beat by one of the gays.
Right, without any results. But a short time ago, supporters in Laconia, New Hampshire, chanting President Pete when they learned of his standing. Bernie Sanders showing his frustration today over the Iowa meltdown. And late today, the Iowa Democratic Party chairman forced to explain how this could happen, promising full and accurate results, saying the numbers were not compromised, that it was that computer app. ABC's Whit Johnson traveling with the candidates, and he leads us off tonight from New Hampshire.
Even with Iowa in chaos, former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg arrived in New Hampshire determined to take a victory lap.
We are arriving with the momentum in the 2020 presidential campaign right now, and we had a victorious night in Iowa that shocked opponents.
He was banking on an Iowa bounce.
Just in case you haven't been glued to your phone the last few minutes, official, verified caucus results are coming in from the state of Iowa. They're not complete, but results are in from a majority of precincts, and they show our campaign in first place.
The preliminary results put Buttigieg neck and neck with Bernie Sanders.
I could never be I don't get that excited about anything. I could never be. The people that do this shit volunteer at these campaigns. Like, what? Do these people have fucking lives?
Who is also anticipating his own success in Iowa.
Got time for to stop everything and devote hours upon hours of time to any one thing like that other than a job, family, whatever.
Today, the senator's frustration was palpable.
We should all be disappointed. There's no excuse for not having results last night.
Elizabeth Warren declaring partial results from the Iowa Democratic Party is just not good enough.
I think they ought to get it together and release all of the data.
So they should wait till they have it all.
Well, that's pretty profound. Yeah, it's not. They're not holding it to punish you, dummy. They don't have it. I think they should release all the data. You do? Wow, what a statement.
Former Vice President Joe Biden perhaps looking to put Iowa behind him, saying there's no rush.
Let's give them time. We don't know precisely how many delegates we have or how many we'll get, but I feel really good about getting more than our fair share.
Tonight, the Iowa Democratic
you need to stomp your feet and pound your fists and say Russia screwed this up.
Party is under fire for the debacle, which the chairman blamed on a coding error in the caucus app.
As chair of the party, I apologize deeply.
Now that guy, he sounds like somebody just killed his family.
But the turmoil seeming to give at least one of the candidates a new lease on life.
What an amazing night we had last night.
Is that Klobuchar?
I'm someone that thrives in chaos. You want a steady hand.
She can't win. Somebody with a voice like that, my God, I'd throw myself out of the window.
And in chaos, right?
The caucuses were supposed to sort out the field, winnow it down. And tonight, in a sea of frustrated Democrats, one man was smiling.
I hear something happened in Iowa or didn't happen. I don't know which. Still can't figure that out.
I think that's Bloomberg.
Our New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg skipped Iowa altogether. He's focusing on Super Tuesday, And today, the billionaire announced he's doubling the amount of money he's spending in this fight.
Perhaps a bit of a gift for Mayor Bloomberg. Whit Johnson live tonight from a Bernie Sanders rally in Milford, New Hampshire. And Whit, I know you heard the frustration from Senator Sanders today about this meltdown in Iowa.
The whole thing is fucked.
Mayor Pete holds on to this lead. That's quite a headline going into New Hampshire.
David, it sure is. Mayor Pete Buttigieg is trying to make the most out of this moment as well. He hit 8 events in New Hampshire today alone, but this is practically home.
All right. Buttigieg is gay. So let's just say Buttigieg is the Democratic nominee. If you're a Democrat but a bigot, what do you do there? I would love to hear from any Democratic bigots. If you're a Democrat, tried and true, but you don't like gays, can you please maybe put a finer point on this for me? And you know, frankly, I'm starting to come around. I think I like the idea of Buttigieg taking on Trump, because that would also be a tremendous spectacle of a litany of nonsensical things that will take place during this entire election process. And you know, I'm all about stories. And if Buttigieg, let's just say he happens to win, first of all, can you imagine in the shit kicker Kalkaska communities, who no doubt want to beat up Buttigieg because he sleeps with dudes, how they would react if he became the president of the United States? Those people would lose their mind. They would try to have a revolt. We'd actually have to bomb our own people in those shit kicker towns where that's pretty much a national pastime. And if Buttigieg, let's just say also that he does win. Let's just say he wins. And, I mean, he's gay, so does he have a first gentleman? I mean, if he is in a relationship, and first of all, if he is in a relationship, the guy's got to have his lover or husband or whatever it is with him at all times, right? I mean, he's got to be out stumping for him. I don't think America is ready for that, though. But I tell you what, if you're a lady, I mean, when I say that, I want to clarify. There's a lot of bigoted assholes in the world these days who would never let that happen. But you know, you got a lady president, you got a black president, or a gay president. If he does happen to win the nomination and then actually wins the presidency, if you're a lady, you're like, fuck, what do we got to do to get elected around here? We got a black guy in there already once, half black at least, and then we got a gay guy in there. When the fuck? I mean, seriously, are you telling me that the gays and the blacks can get into the White House, but the ladies cannot? When is it our turn? All right. As you know, that was all tongue-in-cheek. Settle the hell down. All right. On Twitter, the Blue Frost IT Twitter handle, at Eric Zane Show. Facebook.com/Eric Zane fan page. Brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. I'm going to talk to my dad coming up here in 10 minutes. Today is, by the way, not a driving day. I'm not driving limo, so it'll be a normal show time frame and, all those things that go along with it, all the show notes and things like that. And I'm gonna have Dad on here, so I don't have a damn question in the world for him. I have nothing right now. So it's just basically going to be a conversation. But you've got some time. Can you send me a question? Eric@ericzaneshow.com. It can be about anything. Doesn't have to be silly. Don't try too hard, Dean, to try to make it silly or funny. Just ask him a question. It could be about anything in your life. And I want it now. And then I'll read it to him. As you know, he loves his time with you. Eric@ericzaneshow.com. That's how you reach out to me with him. And we can do it that way. Eric@ericzaneshow.com. Okay, where the hell am I? The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. One of my latest sponsors. They're awesome. Nowadays, you got to go get the mortgage before you go get the house. Okay? You get pre-approved. And the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage, they want to make sure that you get in the right loan, because sometimes you might do this process and the person, helping you with the mortgage that is not affiliated with Mario might be like, oh, yeah, I can get you in this house, man. I can get you this loan. And, yeah, you can go and get this house. And it's probably like twice the amount that the person can afford. That's not good. Because then they're really, really stressed. They can't make the payment. Boom, all of a sudden the house is gone. Can you imagine that awfulness? That would never, ever happen to you with the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Some of you people are new to buying a home. If that's the case, everything is scary. It's intimidating. What do? There's only one thing you need to do, is you need to call Mario, okay? Make his phone ring on his desk at 231-332-6505, 231-332-6505. You know, you're like, I'm sick and tired of paying rent. Yeah, you should be. Why don't you pay, to your own mortgage, and it's yours, okay? Quit giving your money to some local slumlord. Reach out to Mario today. Of course, small and medium-sized businesses are taken care of on the tech side by Blue Frost IT, the managed IT service provider for the show. If you own a small or medium-sized business or you work for one, tell you what, you can earn some real brownie points if you go to the boss and say, the computers here suck. Zane always talks about these people. You should maybe give them a call at 616-200-8550. They can walk us through what we need to do to get this setup running right. That's what they do at Blue Frost IT, online at bluefrostit.com, also known as Blue Frost Tit. Okay. One of my key supporters on the show who sends me audio and links is Brian, who lives in Detroit. And again, we are 100% opposite on the spectrum, but I really like him a lot. And he sends me mean shit about Trump all the time and says he's a racist and he is making the country racist. And he thinks that everything he does needs to be exploited in a terrible way. And I tell him he's full of shit. He's part of the problem with what people talk about. And I think he's the problem. He thinks that Trump is the problem when it comes to if something racist happens in the world. He says it's because Trump is, he actually says to me, it's because Trump is the president and he has emboldened racists. And I'm like, I don't see it that way. He goes, what do you mean? Look at this story. I go, I see it differently. This is, now take this, pause and listen to me. Too many times the media love to exploit stories about racist shit and all them posting it. They know a third party, you, is going to read into it that way, and they hate him, so that's why it's happening. The racism's the same. It hasn't increased or decreased. It's what's being talked about in the press that makes it seem that way, okay? That's a false narrative. It gives the illusion to dummies like you to think that, okay, yeah, there's more racism in the world now because of this guy. That's bullshit. They were always racist. It isn't like they just woke up and said, I'm now more racist. It doesn't work that way. They've always been assholes. They've always done crazy shit like that. That's what they are, assholes. I bring this up because he sent me a story that I'm going to play for you that it's awful what happened in this school board meeting, but he thinks it's because of Trump. I'm like, dude, stop. He also sent me a link of when Trump, during the Super Bowl, the national anthem was playing, and Trump wanted people to sing, so he starts going like this. He moves his arms like a conductor for about 2 seconds. And Brian says, look at this. And I went, what? Yeah, he wasn't standing there staring at the flag. He moved his arms. That's terrible. I don't think it's terrible. What's the big deal? What? If this was a Democrat who did that, you'd be all over him. I was like, fucker, don't put words in my mouth. I do not. Are you crazy? I do not give a shit if anybody goes like this when they're doing the national anthem, trying to get more people to sing. Please, politely, fuck off. My God. I love the guy, though. It's a huge asset, but what a pain in my ass. All right. The community of Saline, Michigan is near Ann Arbor. Oh, man, this is bad. This is really, really bad. The balls on this guy. It's a school board meeting, packed house, and some dude from Mexico has got the floor. He's standing up in front of people. He's got a mic in his hand. He's talking to the masses, saying, "Yeah, my kid's been being bullied because because we're from Mexico, and that's not great. And he's got the shit kicked out of him, and I want the school to do something about it." Now, when I hear that, I feel bad for the guy. I want something to be done. Some dick decides to utter out something terrible while this poor guy is saying this. And I'm playing you the actual footage from when it happened, not the news story surrounding it, because I think that is slanted a certain way. But this is terrible. I can't believe this fucker got the nerve to say this shit. Listen to this.
I remember when I went to his bedroom to say goodnight, and he was crying because of the abuse that he was enduring in this school system.
Then why did you stay in Mexico?
You need to leave. That is disgusting.
That's indicative of what these kids are experiencing.
Whoa.
That's indicative of what our kids are experiencing.
What a strong reaction. My God, that was absolutely.
For Bernie.
That was really, really, really a strong reaction. Did you hear the? And then the one lady goes, "You need to leave." She's trying to kick him out of the place, and he's not moving. But everybody there is pissed. I mean, seriously, the balls on this guy. Who do you? Let me ask you, who's got more balls? This guy or Nancy Pelosi in ripping up the State of the Union address? This dude saying, "Well, why didn't you stay in Mexico?" And or Nancy Pelosi behind the President of the United States on national TV ripping up the State of the Union address. Go. Oops.
To say goodnight, and he was crying because of the abuse that he was enduring in this school system.
Then why did you stay in Mexico?
You need to leave. That is disgusting.
This guy. What a fucking moron.
That's indicative of what these kids are experiencing. That's indicative of what our kids are experiencing. Comments like that. And that's, he's sharing a story right now. And that's indicative of what our kids are experiencing. So this is
out.
You leave.
This is a platform for discussion.
No, that's right. That's right.
You're right. You're right. You got the floor.
I got
You got the floor.
wherever you are.
You got the floor. Hey.
There's a little bit left. The shit has hit the fan.
You interrupted with 10 to 8. You interrupted with 10.
All right. We're going to have this meeting. Let me answer the question. She asked me a question.
All right, now the Mexican dude is like, he asked me a question, I'm going to answer it. And the question was, why didn't you stay in Mexico?
Question, why didn't I stay in Mexico? Because this is the greatest country in the world.
There you go. There you go. Put it right back in his fucking face.
It's not your turn.
It's not your turn. You get the mic last.
He goes, well, you're complaining about being here. Why didn't you stay in Mexico? Oh, God. You see, I don't know. I wish that guy had. And it's tough to defend. Well, I'm not defending it. I think the guy's an asshole. All right. Hold on a second here. Gotta call my dad. You got any questions for him? Let me see if anybody came through for me. I need you. Eric at ericzaneshow.com if you have a question for Dad. Otherwise, I'm just going to stare at him. Okay. Refresh. Oh, Dean is in there. Nice. And what did Dean asks about the president? So this ought to be good. If you have more questions, I probably need one or two more from you. I'm gonna need an assist. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. Let's see, where is my app? There we are. Gonna bring Dad in here any second. Always enjoy talking to him, and he loves that you love him. He's got a tip. Oops. Dad.
Good morning.
Good morning. You sound terrific.
I feel terrific.
Yeah.
And you sound terrific. How come you so uppity upped?
Well, you know, I mean, I'm blessed. I mean, to be here doing this. I mean, seriously, it couldn't be better.
That's great, honey.
Dad, how's the hand? Everybody wants to know, first off, how that hand is doing. Word is that you're...
This morning it's giving me a little ache, you know. I don't know why.
Okay, what did...
It's got a mending to go. I got twice a week I go for therapy, you know.
Yeah.
2 of the fingers I cannot really... One of them I cannot bend at all, but I got to force it to bend.
Damn.
And the other ones are getting better.
Okay, now you informed us last week that you picked that big scab off. All right.
Oh, yeah, that's gone.
Yeah.
But then again, that area doesn't heal, so they put another Band-Aid on it.
Okay, so what did the doc say about you picking the scab off?
Nothing.
Okay, there was
nobody even asked me.
There was no problem.
No.
Okay.
It had to go because it was preventing from the wound to close up.
Okay, all right. Well, then I guess you were right. I just worry about you sometime that you're going to do like a home surgery or something like that.
No. The girl, the therapist, I go in for a therapy. I don't see doctors anymore.
Uh-huh.
She has a special needles and all that. She comes up and touches it. Just try to lift it up, and no, we're not touching it.
Dad.
So then again, I decided to put Vaseline and soften it. It was touchable.
Yes, indeed. All right. Well, okay, Dad. I just told the audience they need to fill my brain, my inbox with some questions. Send them to me for Dad, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. But what everybody's talking about right now, Dad, is the State of the Union address.
Yeah, I was impressed.
Oh, you liked that?
I liked that.
What?
This guy was he outdid everything. Did you guys watch any of that?
I did watch quite a bit of it.
Did you see Pelosi in the background? This bonehead. I hate that woman. Oh, wow. I really hate her personality. And then did you see the end of it, what she did?
Yeah, Dad, we were. I actually did. I think you're referring to when the speaker ripped up the state.
Yeah. Yeah.
What did you tell me, Dad? What were you did you see it when it happened last night, or did you have to wait till today to get that part?
No, I watched the whole thing.
Okay.
She ripped the paper twice in 4 pieces, and she was mimicking in the background. You could see her lips moving all the time throughout the whole thing. But of course, I'm probably exaggerating it, but
no, I saw that. I actually did see. I saw her.
Her lips were moving.
Yeah, she was. Obviously, he had said something that she disagreed with, so she was saying not true. So, all right.
Yeah, whatever. But Eric, this is not a proper thing to do. I mean, at that point, she should just. And then the whole group, her cronies on the other side, never got up, never clapped a hand, never nothing. They're all pouting.
Well, I think that's pretty. I think that is done historically to indicate that there are two differing sides.
There's dismay and dislike and hatred and all this.
Well, I don't know about hatred. I mean, she definitely wasn't happy. For me, I think when it all boils down to it, I mean, Trump says inflammatory things all the time. And if she does something inflammatory, I don't think that's a problem, because if he can do it, why can't she? I don't have a problem with her ripping up that speech because, she thinks he's lying. She thinks it's not true. She has a lot of different views on the world. So I actually embraced what she did because of, and I think that, yes, it does kind of induce even more of a divide, but at the end of the day, they're not going to get any more divided. It doesn't matter. So I think that was actually not a bad thing that she did, and I think people need to quit crying about it, frankly.
But, Eric, you have to realize one other thing, honey. There's other groups that are in favor of the president, and they don't like to see something that during the speech occurring.
Well,
She can go ahead and openly in public on her own time and on her own accord express her views. But to express the views with hatred is not going to work out anything in their favor.
I don't think she hates him. I don't think she hates anybody. She doesn't want him to win. She doesn't like him.
She hates him. She hates him. Are you kidding?
Well,
because he won and she lost.
So that seems to be what everybody wants to talk about, Dad. And if you have a question for Dad, you can email it along. It could be the simplest thing about your kids or your family or your work or your pets or whatever it may be. Or it could be something a little heavier. In fact, Nick has a question for you, Dad, and he writes this.
All right. And by the way, just to conclude this, I'm not a political person.
Well,
but when my president is elected by the majority of the people, I will definitely respect him. I would like him. And when I look at the good things that he does, he's done a lot of good things in here. Like the number one thing that we really liked is he put the prayers in the school.
I think isn't that run by the state? Isn't that a state thing?
No, he puts it in. They took it out. He puts it back in.
Okay.
Well, he pushed it, the issue that people put in. And he stopped abortion.
Dad, but I don't think Trump was really religious before he got elected. I think.
Oh, yes, he was.
He was?
Yes, he was. He always had been religious.
Okay. All right.
Well, anyway.
All right, Dad. Well, anyway, they can reach out to me, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. Nick writes this. Dear Meathead, do you believe that after Trump is acquitted in the impeachment vote, do you believe he will be reelected?
What's the young man's name again? I forget.
That is Nick.
Nick, thank you for calling, man. I appreciate that. Yes, he will win the election. This is my view, my opinion. He has a lot of followers, and I don't see any other candidate that can qualify to be the president.
Now, Dad, in the first election, he lost the popular vote. That means that more individuals voted for Mrs. Clinton, but the Electoral College, that is what seals the deal, and that makes it so that less populated states still have a strong input on the election.
You're correct there.
So, he wants to know also, do you think that Trump will win the popular vote?
I believe he 100% will win the popular vote.
Okay.
I strongly believe it. Now, this is my belief. Now, I could easily be wrong. But then again, from the way I hear and talk to the people that I have, and then this show, his speech, it really put him over the hump.
All right. Dad, I got a completely different question for you. And I have to keep this. I'm keeping this person anonymous. And this is a totally different subject matter, and it's a very personal bit of information. And I'm just reading it to you. And it's going to sound strange, but this is somewhat sexual. So I don't. It's a little weird for me to read this to you, but this guy actually has a legitimate question about doing the nasty. So are you ready for this?
Doing the nasty?
Yeah, having sex. And he has a question. Is that okay if I ask you that?
You can ask me, but I'm not sure if I can be able to answer the question.
Right. I think you can. I think this will be okay. This person writes, my wife and I are looking at buying our first house. And this is 100% true. He writes, out of the blue, my significant other, my wife, asks me, can we build a bondage sex dungeon in the basement in the new house? And so he's kind of taken back by that because the wife brings it up out of the blue. And he's like, well, yeah, he's thinking to himself, sure, that sounds great. But then he says that brings up the issue of how to have a room in the basement that we don't want company in, and it's none of their business what we do in our free time. What would a reasonable explanation of what the room is if people want to see it? What do we tell them?
Well, first of all, I have no issues with what you're doing in your private lives. That's all your choice.
Yeah, sure is.
But if you're going to build a room downstairs and put a lock on it, nothing is going to occur. You don't have to explain anything to anybody. Besides, is that basement a place of entertainment otherwise
I don't think
company?
so. Yeah, I don't think
we don't know that.
I don't think he has like a big screen TV and like chains and whips.
All right. If it's a storage room, tell them, hey, this is our storage room. Put a nice size lock on there. No one can ever get in there.
Yeah.
Just don't forget to lock that door at all times.
Yes.
And make sure the key is not available for anybody but you two.
Let's pray that they don't have kids. Can you imagine if the kids saw that nonsense?
Well, the kids will be all right for about 3-4 years, but then again, when they grew up older and they want to know what's going on in there.
Oh, my gosh.
They're curious.
It's horrible.
Now, hopefully, they will never have access to that entry.
Yeah.
Because when they're older, and if they ever got in there and saw that, they really want to know what's going on, and they would have their own opinions.
Oh, my gosh.
That could pose a problem for you and your kid.
Very, very
And the kid. Now, figure a 15-year-old kid, find out what's going on in there.
Yeah. Yeah, you can just imagine.
That's not going to be too cool.
No.
You can't explain that this is none of your business.
Yeah, it's going to scar
But it is his business.
It will scar that kid for life.
Yes, and the kid can grow up with his own ideas of what's going on.
Yeah, he's going to become
and he wants to continue on with something like that. Now you got a problem.
Yeah, he's going to be a serial killer or something like that.
It could be anything. Could be, oh my gosh, I cannot describe what the other ramifications could be on that.
Yeah, I've never understood that.
So make sure that door is constantly locked. In fact, put a steel door on there if you would.
Right, like a bank vault. A bank vault. Ah.
Yes, a bank vault. So it's all right to do it. That's something for your pleasure. You like, you enjoy it, do it.
All right.
But in the long run,
They can get rid of it when the kids get older.
of course, like Joanne says, then when the kids get older and they're tired of this, they can get rid of that room. Or leave it, make it a open door type of thing.
Sure.
Storage.
You have a theater. You have a theater.
Right. So, but hey, I have nothing against it except eventually you got problems here.
All right. Dad, I got another anonymous question. And by the way, a number of questions have come in, and I'll have to save some of these for next week. So thanks to the audience members who really very quickly came up with these questions. So thank you.
All right.
This person writes, Dear Ruben, I'm seeking advice as a single parent who's going through a divorce that pretty much came out of nowhere. I have my own place. I have a really good job. However, I'm not making enough money to pay all of the monthly bills, plus pay my credit card and miscellaneous loan debts. Do you have any advice on what steps I could take to better myself and my situation for my little girl? Should I ignore certain credit cards and focus on others, to get this paid off? It's gotten to a point where I regularly have to buy groceries with credit cards. So I know I'm ultimately only making my situation worse. Thank you in advance for your advice. Signed, single parent, barely staying afloat.
Well, I would want to, first of all, touch base on that. I appreciate your call, my friend. It's a difficult task that you're facing, and I'm sorry about the fact that your life is going sideways. However, credit card, I have been really a credit card lover.
Yes.
At the point that I had 2 credit cards that I was carrying like thousands of dollars in charges.
Yeah, you're in debt.
I was in debt. I was making my payments and all that, no issues, but I wasn't getting anywhere. I wasn't putting a dent in there because I, for instance, paid them $200 and charged $400.
Right.
So that's going backwards. I paid them off by the grace of God. My wife is such a supporter of mine to not having credit cards, or if I have it, do something that you just can get rid of it.
He wants to know how he can pay his off.
All right. You have to, number one thing, they say burn your cards. Burning and all that don't help it. Number one, do not charge. Suffer with starvation if you have to, but don't go charge groceries. Don't buy presents on credit card. You can't do that. You simply let it be known to people that you're dealing with, such as your ex-wife or your kids and all that, that you are in a process of changing your life around and getting out of debt. Don't be ashamed of it.
Yeah.
It's something that you use that money for a family upbringing and whatnot. There's no disgrace on having a lot of credit cards and loaded with it. And take one card at a time and begin to pay it off.
Yep.
And do not charge.
Yeah, there's a financial writer that I read from time to time named Jordan Goodman, and this is not a new thing; it's an old thing. But Kenny, if you can maybe pick up a side hustle that, let's say, puts $100 into your coming to you per week, if you took that $100 and actually went ahead and paid more than one payment a month, let's say you made 4 payments a month of $100. And after,
well, yes, pay as much as you can.
And let's say that after a certain amount of time, that vanishes. Then you're going to
take... That's a good comment that you just made, yes.
That's the credit card snowball. Then you take that $400 plus the $100 that you're making still, and it snowballs. And if it's going to take some time, it's going to take some time.
That's great. You've already given him a great advice. That's right. This is great.
That's worked for me. Or maybe even $90 instead of the $100, and put 10 into a savings account, so that slowly but surely you're adding the old Dave Ramsey emergency fund. So that's important. I think that's what you should do.
Sure. In other words, put yourself on a austerity program. Don't go out. Don't do anything.
That's what I do. Pack your lunch.
Pack your lunch. You have to do that. I'll tell you what, I give you such a beautiful, beautiful feeling about yourself when you got to be what I did, and I felt such a relief that I get $400 or $500 charges every month, and every month I pay it off. My wife pays it off. She is my accountant, my bookkeeper.
Yeah. She's your sugar mama.
And you know what? When it's all done and over with, you'll be so happy with yourself, the fact that you get your paychecks and all that. You got $400 left after you paid your bills. Wow.
Kenny,
and you don't need to spend so much money. People are sick of doing that, but they don't know how to control it. They go ahead and put themselves in debt. You don't need extra pairs of shoes or pants or food or booze or whatever it is. Cut it down. You've got to do that. Respect yourself, please. Please, but the fact of you don't lose respect by the fact of you don't have things. You lose respect when you have things, but you can't pay for them.
Kenny, I'll call you myself a little later on. I'll talk to you. Oh,
okay.
All right.
Where are you?
Sorry, I got distracted. Listen to this one, Dad. Dear Meathead, I have a kitty that will not go number 2 in the litter box. Could you please embellish on how to remedy this situation? Signed, Mike in Indiana.
How old is the kid?
It's a kitten, a cat.
Oh, a kitten.
Not a cat.
A kid.
Not a.
Well, I'll tell you.
No, it's not a kid.
Okay.
The kid doesn't go in the litter box. It's a cat, Dad.
Okay. The one solution that I do think is going to work is that, of course, it's wintertime right now. It's a difficult thing to do this. Or allocate a particular place in the house, put the kid in the litter box there. Every 15 to 25 minutes, pick the kitten, put him in that litter box.
Okay.
Or do it. Somebody has to do that.
Yep.
Eventually, it has to go.
Yeah.
And so hoping that you're out there, that you grab him right away. If he just started, pick him up and put him in a kitten.
Yeah.
And in a kiddo litter.
Yeah, I can only guess that he's tried that. It's remarkable that the cat hasn't picked up on it. It's a good thing,
No,
though.
you got to keep it up. You keep it up. It might take you 6 months. You got to do it.
It's better number 2, though.
Or if you really want to do it the right way, put the kitty box somewhere in an isolated area that you don't use it and all that, and put the cat there and lock her in there.
All right. All right, that's all I got for you.
There's no significant answer for that.
All right. I'm good. I got nothing more for you. You have any closing thoughts?
Well, my closing thoughts are that we have a possibility of having a re-election of a same president. I think that's it. That's my feeling. Everybody's got their own feeling. I'm really grateful to that because I really like the man. He's done a lot of good in this country. And I don't believe that he was guilty of doing what he did. But then again, these are my opinions.
Okay, yeah, everybody's entitled to them. I mean, everyone else can have their opinion too. Let me ask you this: it's remarkable that you were a two-time Obama supporter, were you not?
Yes, I was. Yes, I was.
How do people? That's remarkable that you switched.
Well, I started thinking one thing: kindness as a president. Obama was a kind person, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't think the president of United States of America has to be just kind. He has to be strong. He has to be pushy. He has to be rigid, tough. And this guy is. So he's got a language that I don't appreciate, but that's good.
All right.
For some reason, it reminded me of some thug in the street, you know, because he does use foul language and all that. But my God, he's the president, and he can't just be kissing up to everybody and all that. He should be tough and pushy and be strong.
All right.
Tell the politicians go to hell.
All right.
I like that in him.
I met a lady yesterday. I was telling the audience from Panama, and she reminded me a lot of you because I know how strong you feel about United States, being that you immigrated from Iran. She immigrated from Panama, and she was like, she has the same opinion and quality of like how she loves the country, and she loves. The lady loves Trump. I couldn't believe it. She's from Panama.
Yeah, I do.
And she's all about him. She loves the guy, and I just was listening to her go on and on about him.
Well, this is now listen to this. He put the prayer back in the schools.
Yeah, you did mention that. I'm gonna fact check that one and see what's up with that. But all right. Well,
I'm a Christian. I love God my way, and it's a good way. And they took it right out of the school. Kids that grow up with religion of God and Christ, I feel different respect for them than I do for kids that grow up with no religion.
Dad, you are one of a kind. Everybody loves you. They love that you put your foot down, and Joanne as your sidekick. Just a tremendous thing. We can't say again how much you guys mean to us.
Well, thank you for your kind ways of describing your father, honey. And I love you, and I raised you to be proper. I was not the greatest dad, maybe, in your eyes, but I was. I think I was.
Come on now. You did fine. You did fine. You did the best. You did the best you could, for God's sake.
Well, I worked properly with the tools that I had in my hand, and I'm grateful that I got you, and you're doing a great job yourself.
Okay, Dad. Thank you so much. I love you for those kind words. Joanne, I love you, too. You guys are the best, okay?
All right. Say hello to your babies.
Yes, sir, I will.
Joanne, sending sheer love to you, honey.
Yeah, of course.
So good luck to you for the rest of the day and the rest of the week and the next week. So you're a hardworking man.
Okay, I love you guys. Joanne, I'll talk to you. And Dad, I'll talk to you.
Goodbye now.
Okay, bye-bye. There you go. Bye-bye. There you go. See ya. Another round of Dear Meathead. Definitely eventful. Thoughts, comments, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. That worked out really well, by the way. There was a lot of great questions that came in. Thank you so much. Man. So that was tremendous. Dad he's coming on strong. I didn't expect him to stay up that late and watch the whole State of the Union thing. My God, he was on fire. Holy shit. All right. Couple show notes. When in the next thing I'm going to talk about, you remember that football coach in and around where I live here at Grand Valley State University, the guy who was said, "Hey, I want to go have dinner with Hitler because he was an awesome leader." Remarkably, there is another layer to this story, and it's really blowing my mind. It just bothers me to no end that this is the way of the world. All right. First off, though, I want you to save the date. there's an organization that I just became made aware of called, I'm going to ruin it, and they know I'm going to ruin it, so I got to say it right. A veteran helping veteran, and I need confirmation on that. Veteran, because they have an event coming up in May. That is it. Thank God. A veteran helping veteran is the name of this organization that I've just teamed up with. Adam and Jill, husband and wife tandem, who are putting this in play. Adam is one of our amazing veterans, and he is another gentleman similar to the who has a service animal, like a legit service animal, similar to Jaeger from the Jaeger Foundation. And a lot of these organizations, they work to end or lower the amount of the number of veterans who take their own lives. That number right now is 22 a day. Which, what? I mean, seriously, how is that happening? Well, these great grassroots organizations like A Veteran Helping Veteran raise money to then very quickly get the money into the hands of these vulnerable military people who are being integrated back into society. That is not an easy thing to do. We've talked about this many, many times. And the organization has an event coming up that I am getting behind, and I cannot wait to be part of, at the Hudsonville Fairgrounds. And it comes up on May the 9th. You can tell I'm rooting around trying to. They have so many things. God, these folks are just all over it. They're always doing amazing things trying to help out the community. May 9th, save the date. That's all I'm telling you. Save the date for this terrific event. What they're doing is, hold on, I gotta make sure I get this right. I shouldn't have frickin' gone down this road unless I had this shit in front of me. Okay, those are past events. I want future events. Okay. There it is right there. Veteran and First Responder Festival. It's titled Helping the Force Within. May 9th, Hudsonville Fairgrounds. I'll put a link to this in the show notes in the audio podcast, and you'll see me talking about it from time to time. This will be the start of the One More Mile series for 2020. They write one of two events for One More Mile. They'll have a 22-mile course for walkers, ruckers, wheelchairs, and bicyclists. You do not need to be able to complete the full 22 miles. The route that is set up is 2.2 miles for you to walk. There's a car show and a craft show going on during the walk. I will be there after the Riverbank run. It's also a Star Wars theme event. So they're going to have the various suspects in all the kick-ass Star Wars gear for you folks. Kids love that stuff. You know, that's a big deal. They're writing in their event article, come out and show your support as we raise awareness and try to reduce armed service veteran suicides. Disclaimer, we are focusing on all aspects of raising awareness of suicides and to help raise funds to get people the help that they need. First responders and civilians are included in this focus. Message or email a veteran helping veteran at gmail.com for a vendor, car show, or registration application. You'll be hearing about them from time to time on the show. Glad to help. Anything I can do. The very, very least I could do. Come home to a clean house with A&D Cleaning. That is the multi-talented Amy Porter. You can reach out to her at 616-550-3644. 616-550-3644. Thank you, Amy. TC Paintball, next Wednesday, we have a paintball event going on that is Paintball War number 7, 6 to 9 p.m. at TC Paintball in Grand Rapids. It's going to set you back $35, no biggie. You got to RSVP, though. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. Please do so. Thank you, TC. Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Harbor. They're fixing cars in West Michigan. Here's what they'll fix. All domestics, all Asians. And also now they've started fixing BMWs and Minis. You got something that's not one of those, don't bring it to Irvine's. Not that they can't, but some of those Some of that Euro garbage, like the Volkswagens. It's like too much. We got to have 15 guys on this one car. The profit margin is out the window because these dumbass Germans make this shitty setup here. Screw that. Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. They are the pros. 616-532-6600. Just off 44th Street, east of 131 on the side street, Stafford. This is 25 years in business for them. Drop in, have a cup of coffee, get a freebie. You get to see the beautiful smiling Jamie, beautiful smiling Megan, the ruddy-looking Eric, the ruddy-looking Bruce. Those are the techs. Eric is a minority owner. His wife is in charge. Veteran and lady owned. So you know it's tip top. All right. Where am I? Morris Berger. I still don't know if it's Berger or Berger. Doesn't matter. This was the coach. I mean, this guy, think about it. What a crash and burn. He came from Oklahoma State as an assistant, like an assistant to the assistant. Was working his way up into college football. Gets this great job as offensive coordinator at GVSU. 3 days in, he's interviewed by the student newspaper. Simple question. Mr. Berger, offensive coordinator Berger, since you're a history major, what three people from history do you want to have dinner with? Can't be sports. Adolf Hitler. I mean, it was bad, but he's a great leader. I mean, he really got people wound up. I'd like to take a page out of his leadership training. Oh yeah, you know how he would just like murder everybody if they if they did anything out of line. Yeah, that's leadership. That's great leadership there. One of the dumbest thing that's ever been said about anyone ever. Well, time passes. Berger resigns, puts out an apology letter. I talked about it on this podcast, and I actually said, that's good enough apology. Well, he must have been in a good mood when he wrote the apology, because he's been given almost $100,000 as a settlement. I made fun of a guy's pants and was fired and walked away with nothing. Pants. This guy wants to have dinner with Hitler. How is he offered anything? Do you not have a behavior clause in your contract that you just broke? They offered him that money to shut up, never talk about it again, and resign quietly. And he accepted it. They offered me the same thing at Town Square when I left Free Beer and Hot Wings. They actually did offer me something. They said, we'll offer you, I think it was about $40,000. We offer you $40,000 to not say anything and keep your mouth shut. And I said, fuck off. I'm saying whatever I want. Eat shit and die. I'm going to say whatever the hell I want whenever I want. Don't tell me what I can say and can't say. No, keep your money. Spend it on something else. They offered this guy a ton of cash, man. That is bullshit. They did indicate that it wasn't public funds. It wasn't money that taxpayers paid or anything like that. That's what they said. I have no reason to think that they would lie, but this is just shit. You can say, I want to have dinner with Adolf Hitler and get $100,000 for that. They should have just fired him outright. He just said he wants to have dinner with Hitler. What's the problem? Fire his ass. It was a lump sum of $80,000. This has to piss you off, right? Here we are busting our hump. We do the right thing. This cocksucker wants to have dinner with Adolf Hitler, and he's given $80,000 for it. I take it back, $90,000. He was given $80,000 in a lump sum and another $10,000 in lost benefits as part of an agreement to resign. This is horseshit. And he gets the money no later than February 15th. So here you go. Congratulations. You just won the lottery for being a cocksucker. Hang on. huge burp in there that I just had to get out. It was going to give me a heart attack. Berger also agreed to waive any and all complaints and causes. It means he can't sue him. And causes of action against the university. Berger's hire wasn't even approved by the university's board of trustees yet when the shit hit the fan. Well, hell. I can't even believe that they offered this money. And they go into a little bit of the details about the letter. GVSU said the resignation was mutually agreed upon, but Berger sent Channel 13 on Your Side an email saying he was forced into the move. GVSU has not announced who will replace Berger on the... Well, who cares about that? Man, that's annoying. All right. I think we're going to set a record today for length on the podcast. Of course, Dear Meathead was in it, but... all right. This is going to be hard to decipher, this next thing, but Kenny sent it to me, and I'm so grateful that he did. It is a YouTube video of a guy from Scotland, in Scotland, and he shoots a YouTube video of himself. He's laughing, he's smoking a cigarette, and it's difficult to understand because the Scottish accent of English is so thick, okay? You might be able to understand about 10% of these words, but he's very joyful and laughing. In the background is a lady who's also laughing. He's in someone's home, or in a home, shooting a selfie video. And this woman, he doesn't know her, but she finds him hilarious. What has happened is this guy got really, really drunk. And he went back into the home it was a party, and he went back into the home to hang out more with his friends at the party. But at the party, he lays down, and he's drunk and passes out. And then he wakes up, and he's looking around, and he goes, where did everybody go? And there's a lady there, and she says, what are you talking about? He says, I was here at the party. Where did everybody go? She goes, there was no party here. This guy, when he was outside, went back in. He was so drunk, to the wrong house, laid down, and passed out. The lady woke up, saw him, and she didn't freak out, call the cops, shoot him. She woke him up. He woke up, and they started to laugh about it. Now they're like best friends. And so in this video, about 1 minute has passed since he was woken up, and he's now laughing his ass off. Very difficult to understand, but I'm going to play it for you anyway, and then you'll be able to see it on your own. I'll post it in the show notes of the downloadable audio podcast found at ericzaneshow.com. Check this out.
So hold on a minute, right? Genuinely, this couple have woke me up, right, on their couch, right?
Someone woke me up on the couch, right? And he says right like after every sentence, but it sounds like, oh,
this is absolute gospel, right? This couple have woke me up, right, and went, like, who are you, right? And I'm like, they talking about just I was at this party last night here, and they're like, there was no party.
I think I was at a party last night. They said there was no party here.
I'm like, no, there was. I remember the Northern Lights, right? And he went, no, trust me, there's no party here last night. They just woke up on our couch, right? So I went to get a taxi last night. Gospel. I went to get a taxi last night. The taxi's left, and I've come into the Rang house. I've come into the Rang house, got a cover, went to sleep. And this couple, look, this couple woke me up this morning like that.
He says the couple woke me up this morning. It was actually a guy and a girl who woke him up.
Who are you?
I was the cover we were sitting at the fire the last night.
So, what I've done is, instead of getting back into the party, I went into the house next door. And thank God, this woman's from Glasgow, so she's like, and we're welcoming cup of tea, a fag.
He says they welcomed me and said, a cup of tea, a fag. He smokes, he takes a big puff of the cigarette.
I was from Glasgow, so she's like,
cup of tea, a fag.
And we're welcoming cup of tea, a fag. Oh, the party was next door.
Party was next door.
Oh, danger. They made me woke up and there's a pot of noodles. I must have made myself. Oh, man. Honestly, thank you very much for being so understanding.
You're welcome.
Okay, now in that video, there's subtitles. So, because you can't, like I said, I think it was actually less than 10% that you could understand of that dude. I just want to play it for you because, damn it, that's funny hearing that guy completely come unglued, and the hilarity of that, man, that is fun. That is fun stuff. Okay, one more thing. It's the optics of this next thing. It comes to us from East Lansing, Michigan. Michigan State University. This story broke yesterday, so this story is a bad thing. On the day that they also lost their head coach, this guy, Mark D'Antonio, resigned. Not everybody knows who that is. If you listen in other parts of the country, you probably don't. Some of you just might not follow. But anyway, he was a kind of a big deal. The team's kind of sucked recently, but so D'Antonio resigned. The big thing, though, is what happened at the gift shop on MSU's campus. Brian sent this in, Pain in the Ass Brian, which is his nickname from now on, Pain in the Ass Brian. He said, man, this school just cannot get out of its own way. No matter what happens, every month and a half, there's something shitty that happens at Michigan State University. Okay. A&E Heating and Cooling, I want you to call them 616-516-8579. Joe Martinez has a deal for you. Get a humidifier. Regular $615 installed. Zane Show listener, mention the show. You're going to get it for $515. If you hire Joe to do a new furnace install, he's going to give you that for free. That's just part of it. So that's awesome. You do need a humidifier in your home. I mean, I'll tell you, man, especially here in Michigan. You know, seven months a year that thing's going off the furnace. Maybe 8. Hell, if you're up north, it's 10. You need to have some moisture in the air. Just have the humidifier do it, man. 15% off for active and retired military. Just mention that when he gives you the bill. Say, hey, man, former military or retired military, active military, 15% off. And the senior citizens, too. Thank you, Joe. Those are great deals. 616-516-8579. You're going to buy your carpeting and flooring from Johnson Carpet One Floor and Home in Granville, Michigan. Okay, I'm getting all the advertisers in Granville. That whole stretch of Chicago Drive is going to be mine. I got Striders in my sight. I'm going to pick them off before you know it. Osgood, and then, of course, you got Johnson Carpet One Floor and Home. Johnson Carpet One Floor and Home is right across the street from Striders and Osgood. Can't miss it. Been there forever. Massive place, too. It doesn't look like it when you walk in, but when you go in, everybody there is an expert in design, and that just comes with what you buy. Their expertise. You're not going to pay more for it. They're knowledgeable about your home. You're like, well, these walls look like this, and I think this would look good here. What do you think of this? Well, that's great. How about some laminate? They've got a big sale going on at Johnson Carpet One Floor and Home until February 22nd. Carpet, vinyl, tile, laminate, wood, all of that. 20% off. What? I just heard through the grapevine that, Doctor, we know you're in there. It's Leon Hendricks. Sore knuckles. Leon Hendricks just bought carpeting or flooring from the folks over at Johnson Carpet One. If it's good enough for Leon, it's good enough for you, you know? Johnson Carpet One, Floor and Home in Granville, Michigan. Go to ericzaneshow.com, click on the Johnson Carpet One logo, take you right to their website. Awesome website, too. Thank you to Johnson. Carpet 1. Seen right over my shoulder. Okay. I just don't know how this shit happens. Michigan State University. After all they've been through, the awful thing with the gymnastics maniac Nasser, and all that nonstop negative things happening to that school. People are facing the music. It's been nothing but a black eye on the school. How things like this happen, it's beyond me. There is a performing arts center on campus. And in the performing arts center is a gift shop. This is where you find the best racist shit, is gift shops. Well, there's a nice lady walking through there. Her name is Crystal Rose Davis Dunn, who just happened to be in the gift shop. She's a 31-year-old black graduate student at MSU. She went to a jazz concert at the Performing Arts Center. And they go, hey, maybe they got a magnet, maybe a snow globe. Perhaps there's some music in there of the concert we just saw. Let's go check out the gift shop. The reason why she took in the show was because she wanted to unwind, as the story says. And the reason why she wanted to unwind is because, hold on a second here. She wanted to check out the gift shop because she had just spent a day doing various things about equality and discrimination and talking to people about diversity. So she had some pretty heavy conversations during the day about that. So she's pretty woke, as you would expect. She walks into the gift shop, and for some reason, there is a wooden tree, and on each branch is a string, and the string goes around the neck of dolls of Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, and Prince? What? What is going on here? So the black people hanging from the tree are like ornaments on a tree. What's going on here? First of all, it's like painstakingly done. And it's not small. And I don't know why, how this is. How is this that anybody would actually say, yeah, this is great. This is so racist that I don't think it's racist. I think that someone is just stupid and thinks that, and they don't understand the optics of what this can look like in the world. Half of the world's problems, I think, when it comes to racism, aren't racist. It's just shit like this because stupid people think too much and do things. This is remarkable. Rose Davis, black graduate at MSU, took in the concert, checked out the jazz show. They kept walking around. She spotted 4 or 5 similar trees and a larger Christmas tree with a lot more black leaders. A few white leaders on there, such as Abraham Lincoln and Beethoven, but the trees were mostly covered with ornaments of black historical figures. She asked shop workers whether they saw anything wrong with the displays, but they said they didn't. It's black people hanging from ropes. What the fuck is going on here? I would love to sit down with somebody and say, so to the artist, what exactly are you trying to do here? I'm curious. This poor lady's walking around. She just spent a day talking about discrimination and inequality. And then she walks into the gift shop, and there's Barack Obama and Prince hanging from a tree. This is at least the third incident this school year that some black students at MSU called racist and offensive. A black student found what appeared to be a noose fashioned from toilet paper in a dorm room in October. A professor's survey apparently had racist and offensive language was taken down in the same month. Man, I tell you what, it's hard for me to to make. I won't make any excuse for this. This is bad. This is really bad. Black folks are like, we're tired of having to put on a strong face 24/7, especially at the place we're supposed to call home. This university is toxic. It's hard not to agree with that. The incident occurred in a facility named after Clifton R. Wharton, a black guy and former Michigan State University president. The Wharton Center gift shop issue is bigger than black people hanging from trees. She said a lack of sensitivity is embedded in the MSU community. My God, you're not kidding. I don't know unless somebody can talk me out of this. I mean, how the hell do you talk your way out of that? Don't hang black people from trees. My God, how hard is it? Really, really bad. Okay. Look, couple of things. The podcast continues to grow. We are reaching all-time highs in downloads for the audio podcast, and I want that to continue. So if you enjoy it on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, I want you to go to my website, ericzaneshow.com. Right at the top, it says free podcast. You can do this on your phone, Android, iPhone, desktop, laptop, whatever it may be. When you hit subscribe to the badges. It could be Apple Podcasts, CastBox. Hell, subscribe to them all. I get 1 internet point for every single one of those downloads. That helps me. So however you get the show by these video sources for the live element, I need you to, it'll go right to your phone. You can get the show wherever you want, on-demand audio. You don't have to use your data. Okay, so there's that. As well, on Facebook, it's been astronomical. The amount of views we've been getting per video. Something's happening. Something's taking place, and the word is spreading. Keep spreading and sharing. If you're watching right now, please share this podcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you have a business, I have another important business meeting today with a sponsor from the old BBL days. It's really, really great. I'm really excited about this one, and I'll announce it soon. But I'm telling you, I can get any business into an ad plan. I have some very, very grassroots moms and pops on the podcast, and we'll continue to do that. If you don't think you can afford this, try me. Okay, I can get you into a plan. Or if you got a little bit more cheddar and you can spend it, I can do that too. Your money's good here. I will take that money. Just send me an email, all right? Eric@ericzaneshow.com. You'd be surprised at what I can do for you and the reach of this show. It's really great. Things are popping. All right. And then there's Patreon. Oh, my Patreon. Hang it in there. Every month we take a hit. We get lower. But I want you to sign up for it if you like more podcasting. If you think I do a good enough job here that it's worth your $5 or $10 a month. That was the original plan for Patreon. The idea was I give you the free one, and if you think the free one was good enough, you throw $5 at me, and I'll give you Patreon content too. So that continues to this day. This is a terrifically passionate bunch of about 230 of you, and that has been tremendous. It has kept us afloat. Thank you. I've got more podcasting to do on Patreon. I'm going to talk about the school that just wanted to sing the Lion King song to raise money for hungry kids for charity, and Disney went after them like you won't believe. That's next on the Patreon. You're a wonderful audience. You support me. You help me out. You send me emails. You offer words of encouragement. You subscribe to the asshole-free Reddit page. Thank you. You guys are the best. All right. That is the day. We're done. More podcasting. My gosh. Okay, have a good one, folks. Talk to you down the road.